Sports from head to toe. I'm Nick DiDonato alongside my good friend Justin. We got a lot of action tonight, don't we, Justin?
Yes, indeed we do. Tonight we have NBA playoffs. Game 4, Milwaukee Bucks versus Toronto Raptors. Should be a good one. Starts at 8:30 tonight on TNT.
Do you think they're going to come back for a second win?
See, that's just the thing, though. They're down 2-1 right now. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to come back. Giannis is too good. While he can't really shoot, he can really do it all elsewhere, whether it's his defense or his rebounding. So that's why it really depends on not him, but his supporting cast, should we say. So if Brook Lopez has another 29-point game, then yeah, the Milwaukee's easily going to win. But if we have another outstanding performance from Kawhi, or heck, Danny Green actually show up in this playoffs, I mean, I could easily see Toronto taking it, but who knows?
So Giannis is averaging 27 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists. It's just something that you can't really compensate for. It's crazy because as a big, when you have 5 assists, it really makes your team just show out.
Right, it really opens up the floor, but he's shooting like a big from the free throw line as well. He is shooting about 60% during these playoffs from the free throw line. That's not something to, get excited about. But like I said before, he can do it all elsewhere, and he has a great supporting cast.
So last night we had our other series, Western Conference Final Series. The Warriors ended up sweeping Portland Trailblazers. What are your thoughts on that, man?
Well, the Warriors came out to play. They were down. They were missing, obviously, KD, and they were missing Cousins. But they also were missing Iguodala. And with that being said, they had to have the next man up mentality. And that's exactly what they did. Not no-name players, but, I mean, they gave Jordan Bell the start. He got 7 points in 14 minutes of play. But Kevon Looney, he got a double-double in the win, and he really helped them set the tone as they out-rebounded the Trailblazers by 9.
So Draymond Green and Steph Curry were the first pair of players on the same team to have triple-doubles in a playoff game in history of the NBA in the playoffs. So Steph Curry had 37 points, 13 rebounds, 11 assists. Draymond Green ended the night with 18 points, 14 rebounds, and 11 assists with 2 blocks and 3 steals. That's something we might never see again. What is your take on that?
Yeah, it's definitely something we're never going to see again. As it is, I mean, yes, we have players like Russell Westbrook that are triple-double machines, but not many players can get a triple-double, let alone on the same team in the playoffs. If we look, I mean, yes, like other players, like if Paul George, let's say, he can get a triple-double, but at the same time with him and Westbrook getting one, it's going to be really rare. So with that being said, Draymond Green, he can get a triple-double every now and then. Same thing with Steph Curry if he actually rebounds the ball instead of just shooting it. So it's more than likely not going to happen again, but if it does, it's probably on a team with LeBron.
So when a lot of people look at the final score of this game, they see just the Warriors win by 2 in overtime, but the name of the game was the Trailblazers blew another big lead in the first. They had a big lead in the first half, came out in the third, they played a good third quarter, and the fourth quarter they just lost it. And it's just a team effort. I mean, Leonard, not the best Leonard in the playoffs, but he had 30 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists. Damian Lillard had 28 points, 12 assists, 4 rebounds. CJ McCollum had 26 points, 2 rebounds, 7 assists. I mean, they played well, but they weren't there when it counted. They needed to step up. They blew the lead. They didn't cover.
Right, that's just it, Nick. You hit well on those stats, but outside of those guys, the next highest scorer had 10 points. I mean, yes, you can run a whole offense through three guys as the Warriors used to do back in the heyday, but it's not a recipe for winning all the time, especially when you're going up to a team like the Golden State where they have Draymond, who's a pretty solid defender. Clay, he can defend any guard for the most part. But at the same time, it all goes about just how you have your set up game plan for the game, and if any good strategy works, obviously they end up winning. But the thing is, though, is they were down, I believe it was 17 points, and they came back to win. Golden State did. But the Trailblazers, it was a 2-point game at the end, but the Trailblazers had plenty of opportunities to win this game. They missed, I believe it was 2 shots in the last 25 or 30 seconds of the game, and plus they missed a lot of crucial shots in overtime. So it was on the plate for them. They just couldn't even take it.
Right. Al-Farouq Aminu had 0 points. There's something to put in perspective of not scoring enough. He started the game at power forward.
Right, yeah. I mean, he averages 9 points on the year. I mean, he's nothing, he's not a big name, a household name player, especially here on the East Coast. But, I mean, other players got to step it up. Enes Kanter, I know you're kind of hurt. You can put up some good minutes and some good, some shots every now and then. I mean, he went 3 for 4. He was somewhat efficient, granted small numbers, but I think they should have played him a little bit more, considering.
Now, something that goes almost unseen in the loss is that Miles Leonard has had 30 points in the loss. And, I mean, that's a high. That's his playoff high. And that's something that is really going unseen in the playoffs. I mean, I'm sure ESPN's probably given it a lot of exposure, but that, as a big, that was something they needed. They needed a big on the rebounds, but they got out-rebounded by a ridiculous amount. They got out-rebounded by... The Warriors had 67 rebounds, and the Trailblazers had 44. They got out-rebounded by 9 rebounds on the offense. They had 15 rebounds, the Warriors did, on offense, and the Trailblazers had 6. And it's something that the Trailblazers lack. It's people going, fighting for the ball, getting rebounds. They don't come down with balls.
Right, that's a thing they really need to address in the offseason if they want to make it to the finals, is getting a big guy. And who knows, we'll maybe see it in a draft, we'll maybe see free agency, we don't know that yet. But as a whole, they got out-rebounded by 15, which is just, it's absurd.
Because the stats are here for the Blazers. They won in the field goal percentage. It was 48% to 46%. They won in the 3-point percentage. It was 39% to 30%. And then the rebounds just stand out. It's just...
Right. Well, that was the thing with the 70% from the free throw line. They weren't even getting to the line at all. They only attempted 10 shots from the free throw line compared to Golden State's 19. Now, even Golden State's, I mean, that's like an average number. And, any night it could be anyway. It depends just how the type of play is. But they definitely should have just came up with something better to do. Attack the rim more, honestly. Because you have great players on that team. I mean, yes, probably one of the best NBA players' brother is on the team. I mean... At least use him more. I mean, he played 14 minutes and he scored 1 point because he only shot 1 shot, which was a 3. I mean, utilize your guys more,
Right. One thing that will be interesting is both of the teams in the East both have people. They're both good rebounding teams that can score. I mean, at will, but it really just comes down to the stars. It comes down to Giannis. It comes down to Middleton on the Bucks. But then it comes down to Kawhi. It comes down to Danny Green, Pascal Siakam. It comes down to them. But the name of the game for the Warriors was they really just blew them out of the water on rebounds. They blew them out of the waters on converting their free throws, all of that. And both the teams in the East, the Bucks and the Raptors, they have to see this and say we need to do a better job than the Trailblazers of not getting out rebounded by the Warriors.
Right, yes. It's the whole philosophy, East versus West in the NBA. It's two different styles of basketball in a sense. I mean, yes, the Warriors and Trailblazers kind of play the same. I mean, obviously don't shoot as many threes. And look, even the Rockets, they set the record for the most threes attempted in the NBA. Also, with Nick's comments regarding Milwaukee, yeah, they're very lanky. They can easily out rebound any team. I mean, you got Giannis and you got Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez is what, 7 feet? Giannis is at least over 6'10". I mean, those are two guys right there that are just absolute freaks of nature on the court at the same time generally. So nothing's getting by them, one, and nothing is. No scrawny Steph Curry standing at 6'3" is going to at least attempt to out-rebound them.
Right. And Giannis in the playoffs, I mean, he's averaging 13 rebounds a game. So I don't think anybody is going to take him lightly in the paint. I mean, they shouldn't.
Right. He also set that another record, the most rebounds in a playoff game with 23. He had in Game 3.